move out to the plaque, and I'm going to ask Mr. Phillips to come with me. And we're going to formally dedicate this field in his honor. And I'm so thankful that this community has seen fit to support this, because we need to pay tribute to a great person who has done so much, because this example is one that we need to lift for all of our young people. Now, I want to mention one thing. You know, there's always something that in all the efforts that you make, everything worked out fine, with the exception that the bronze plaque didn't get here on time. It's supposed to come Tuesday, of all things. But they did, because of their feeling bad about not making it in time, presented and you will see a replica that's on it, and that's going to be presented to the family for them to keep next week when that comes, and the bronze plaque will be attached then. We're going to move out, and if you want to come down and gather around that, that'll be fine. Mr. Phillips, I want to ask you to come on out with me over there, and the family. Part of our, come on right over here, Jack. All of you know Jack, who's such a great supporter of our schools and works so hard to see that we have the kind of structures that we need. I want to say that this is such a deep honor for us, for the Board of Education, and for myself as superintendent to be able to participate and to officially say that this field here at Bennett School is officially called the Wayne E. Phillips Field. No greater tribute can I think of, but no more appreciation should we express than to say to Mr. Phillips that he is the #1 citizen in this area, and he deserves so much more than we are able to say here. And I am so proud to say to him that this field will be in his honor for as long as it exists. And we're so grateful for what he's done. And I want to ask the chairman, and we'll lift this up so you can see it. And as I said, there will be a bronze plaque on this. It will be in this place. Mr. Phillips, thank you for everything you've done. And I want to turn the microphone over to you. You didn't know you've done things. You don't have to.
I jotted down a few remarks because I didn't want to spend the rest of the day here. I had so many wonderful stories. But anyway, one thing, Coach Scott, we're going to have to change our signals. We're going to have to reverse them. He gave our signals away. I do want to thank all of you for coming out and being a part of this, and especially I want to thank Coach Scott and Janice, his wife, for the hard work they've done, and of course Coach Jones and his members of his team for coming down, and each one of you. I certainly want to thank each one of you for coming and being a part of this, and it's such an honor, and I've had so many happy times out here, and it's real nice to have you. And of course, my wife, Alina Grace, and John, Megan, and of course David, her husband. That's the members of my family. Of course, I have sisters here, Wilma and Sue. And I told them this is sort of like a funeral. At least you get to enjoy this. I get to enjoy it. And I said, the best story I have, John, I don't know if you've heard it, is about the preacher that got carried away at this funeral, and he was laying on pretty heavy, and the wife looked over at one of the little boys and said, Leroy, run up there and make sure that's your daddy. It's really appropriate for this day, I think. And another man said, I could have said a lot more if I'd have said less. So, my wife kept asking me, you know, over the years, when I was going to quit playing baseball. And I said, well, when I get too old to dress myself, I'll quit. Of course, you know better, but that stopped those questions anyway. And of course, this field here, I like to say that I'd rather have it dedicated to me than Wrigley Field or Three Rivers Stadium or wherever. because they play athletic games there, and of course, we play the game of life here. We train, of course, and develop young people. And I had a real good story, I remember this all my life, on Ray's father, C.H. Jones, and I feel it's a lot like this at Bennett. One time someone came by and said, C.H., you want to go to the ball game? And he said, I don't know, where is it? They said it's in Greensboro. The Dodgers were coming through for an exhibition game. And he said, the Dodgers? No, he said, why is Bennett playing in Greensboro? He said, Bennett's not playing in Greensboro. He said, shoot, I don't want to go there. So the majority of our players, of course, always came from the Bennett area. A lot of times we had a pitcher or two, that came from a different area. And of course, we've had many great players and great men to play on this field. Many outstanding high school, college, and pro players. We've had some to go as high as AAA, and of course we've had two pitchers to go all the way to the majors. And of course you've already met one of them today, Greg Harris. We're very proud of him. We're very thankful to have had him to have played for us right in here on this field. Quite an honor to have someone like that. Then we had Bill Graham. Now, not the evangelist. He certainly wasn't an evangelist. He was a great pitcher. And he left out here 1 year playing in Deep River League and went and played with the Mets back when the Mets wasn't too popular. Pitched 3 games and won 2 of them. So that was quite an honor. And I don't guess we ever forfeited a game here at Bennett for lack of ball players. That's quite an honor. And I don't think we've ever been rained out but a very, very few times. One time we played Pittsburgh High School here, and Mr. Blankenship and I went up inside there. It rained so hard, water run down across the ground. The fellow said, let's go home. And he kept talking, and after a while, we came back down here and finished the ball game. This field dries in a hurry. And I guess the reason for it is, of course, the Lord knows we love baseball. And of course, he blesses us by holding the rain until after the game. And some people like fishing, some golf, some other activities, some nothing. Of course, mine's baseball. And of course, I've always said that anybody that dies suddenly, wouldn't it be a wonderful way to go, a baseball player, if he just hit the game, got the game-winning hit, or just crossed home base and then he dropped over. I said that'd be the best way to go, I know. And I will tell one little story, baseball story. Lester Welch, I played with him for years. That's Ted's older brother and a tremendous pitcher. And we were playing around. You don't tell these stories unless you're the star, But anyway, I could run. I guess that's what made me drive a motorcycle so fast. I could move when I was younger. And we were playing around, and they were tough to beat. And the score was 1-1, and we came up in the top half of the ninth. And Lester said, now, Wayne, if you get a hit, said, you still second on the first pitch, and said, I'll sort of move the bat around and protect you a little bit. I got the hit and stole second. He said, now, when you get on second, said, I'm going to get out and rub a gnat out of my eye, like something in my eye, and give you time to get your breath. And said, on that next pitch, said, you take off for third, and said, don't you slow up. Said, you come on home. Said, I'm going to lay that ball down. Of course, Lester knew what he was doing. He laid the ball down, and I scored. We beat him 2-1. And that's about the first time, I guess, we've beaten Rowland back in those days. And we've had some great players here at Bennett. And I remember one time, you remember, Ronald remembers that C.K. was probably playing, and we were playing out here. C.K. was probably doing the pitching. The time Fred Kevin signed, he hit 3 home runs that day, and he didn't do it off of some local high school pitcher couldn't throw the ball. He hit him off of Charlie Swicegood, an all-state pitcher at Elon. Now, I'll tell you, that's quite an honor. He hit 3 in one ball game. So that's quite an honor for someone to do that. And I'm not going to take up enough of your time. Old young Allen used to tell this story about, and I thought it was one of the cutest ones, back when he was young. They went to a prayer meeting, and they sang all these songs, to come to the altar and all, and nobody would move, and the preacher said, we're not ending this till one of you but come forward. So they've been a long time. So finally, young Teddy's friend just jumped up and went down to the altar. And they got out and said, well, I didn't realize you was that religious, that they touched you that much. Said somebody had to get us out of there. So I want to get you out of here. But I do want to paraphrase a great American, General Douglas MacArthur. And of course, I'll turn it around a little bit. Old ball players never die, they just fade away. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. I'm sure this day has meant so much to so many of us. Appreciate you, your family, what they have done, what you've done for the community. Appreciate everyone who's come to take part today. Appreciate Mr. Herring, your part of the program. As Mr. Phillips said, he does not have anything that he'd like more than to have this field maintained, I'm sure. This will conclude our program. We have some barbecue drinks available for ones of you who would like to eat. If you'd like to purchase some there, mingle here with Mr. Phillips and socialize. If you need to leave, we understand. We appreciate so much you coming today.